All right, what's going on, guys? It's Eric here. Gonna do this video recap for you guys real quick about the trade I took with XTLB. A lot of you guys were asking about this, so I figured I'd just brush over the thought process and execution of it here for you real quick. So a little bit on this trade here that I'm showing you guys in the recap. I'm gonna be showing it to you here on Webull as opposed to TradingView like I usually do. For some reason, TradingView updated and it looks kind of weird, so I gotta adjust those settings to make them readable for you guys. But anyways, Webull of course is where I'm executing a lot of my trades in. So I'll just kind of briefly touch over here. The reason why I like to use TradingView is because I can go back and run it back real time so you guys can see the charts and things like that that I'm looking at. But this is a good idea to set up here um, that I use when I'm trading. So of course you got the key statistics, the level 2, and the 1 minute and the 5 minute chart here. Of course you have the order flow here and short interest right here. Now these are things that I'm consistently gauging at or looking at when I'm in a trade. Mostly what I'm doing is reading the price action on level 2 when I'm in the trade, um, and looking at the charts and kind of going from there, planning my entries and exits and everything. Things like the key statistics here, the short interest and order flow. I usually just kind of gauge that once I pull the stock up, just to kind of get an idea of things that I'm looking for, that I cover in that course for you guys, so you're able to know how to read that. So I like to have it there right away for when I pull the stock up, just so I can get a glimpse of what I need to look at when I'm trading everything. Okay, so let's kind of jump into this trade here real quick. Of course, with XTLB, the alert went off. Pretty much like right before it was taking off, I believe. Let me see if I can actually pull it up here for you guys in a second, so I can see where exactly it went off at the first time. Because once the alert went off, I pulled up the stock, looked at it, wait for it to do what I look for it to do in my setups when I'm trading it. And you guys, in other videos I cover that. Pretty much it went off when it hit the high of day. The alerts right here, I believe that was the alert. Yeah, XTLB, high of day, 4:59 is when it went off. 8:01, which is pretty much at 11 o'clock Eastern time, which is right here. So this is when the stock went off. The alert went off. I pulled it up, looked at it. You guys know me. I don't jump in right away on every single alert. What do? I wait for that pullback on the moving average convergence divergence to see where my support will be at. And then from there, I plot my trade, how I do it. Of course, I'm a bullish trader, so you know me. Once the moving average convergence divergence turns over, if the chart is looking good for all the things I know as far as candlestick wise, price action wise, if it does the breakout that I'm looking for, then I'm going to go ahead and enter the trade, which is how this one was kind of executed perfectly for me um, on this trade. So pretty much the alert went off, like I said, right here, right? Now I trade on I go based on the 1 minute time frame. I use 5 minutes just to kind of give me a little bit more confirmation of what I'm looking at, which is this chart right here. But mainly I'm using my 1 minute chart to trade. I like to get in and out of the trade. I'm not necessarily scalping because I'm still looking for trades, a setup and everything. But I mean, it depends on what you kind of define as scalping. Okay. But yeah, I usually execute my trades in a 1 minute time frame. I'm trying not to be in it too long, but the stock isn't giving me a reason to leave, I'm going to stay in it and let it and ride it out. Okay. Now, typically, as you guys might know in the course, or if you don't know, I have three main strategies that I trade: one for going up, one for going down. Oh, actually, two for going up and one for going down. There's other strategies I trade, but I have three main ones that I focus on, especially based on the type of trades that we have on the alerts. Okay. Um, this was, one of the strategies that I took, that I traded, and it was pretty much executed perfectly. So let's kind of cover that real quick. Okay, so the alert goes off, 11 o'clock. I pull up the stock, I look at it. Again, I'm not jumping into the trade right away. Here you see it's at the $4 level. It went all the way up to almost about 510 range, which is fine. That's good for me. And then it starts to pull back. Okay, so as it's pulling back, I'm noticing that, it's consolidating. Not only is it consolidating, but on the lowest level of the moving average convergence divergence, it's still holding a high from where it was when it was alerted, right? So finally, as the moving average convergence divergence begins to roll over, again, it's showing strength. And what happened? It broke out past the previous high when the alert went off. Okay, so we knew that the previous high at this point was around the 520 area, well, 510, 520 area, right? It pulled back. It formed that little cup and handle. It's a small cup and handle. It wasn't much of a big dip, but it showed enough support on the moving average convergence divergence for me to want to get into it, which it did. So once it kind of showed that support and it broke that level of resistance, that's when I got in. As you guys see on the trade, my entry level was around 515, and I pretty much rolled this thing to the top of the moving average convergence divergence. It stayed, it showed good level along the exponential moving average and the volume weighted average price, which is the yellow and bluish purple line here. Um, well, actually both purple and blue, so both moving average and exponential moving average. It was just showing great signs, and the candlesticks are strong. All this is what I'm looking at in real time. As I'm trading, in the level two right here looked great. Obviously, this is pre-market right now. Not much going on in pre-market. I think a few alerts did go off. NAOV, I think just went off. But anyways, um, yeah. So this was looking good, and as I'm in this trade at this point, when it broke right here is where I got in around that 315 area. I got filled, and at that point you just sit there and let the trade come out. As far as my exits that I had, I wasn't going for like a home run, um, but I mean, a simple $1, $2 move is pretty good. What you should shoot for. As you can see here, this thing just rolled on up, and rolled on up. Now, if you were getting kind of greedy, and you try to hold this thing for the rest of the day, you probably should, you know, set your strategy and profit taking to a better, more conservative level. Okay. But anyways, it shot up and then it started to roll back down. You can usually tell when the stock is beginning to roll down. I mean, you have a few different indicators. Obviously, the super trade indicator helps out a lot. Um, for those that quickly pop up and quickly come back down, you want to exit your position. You'll still make out with some profit, hopefully, if you're watching the level two right. But you get confirmation here on level, the higher time frame on the 5 minute. It's just showing you that hey, there's no more strength there. Just go ahead and exit your position. And if anything, that's going to save you some headache as far as having to hold on and hope, because you already know that the trend is going to continue to stay down. Okay. Um, but of course, in the 1 minute, you got little pumps and little fails right there. So, but anyways, again, this is just intended to be a quick video. So pretty much I pulled up the stock. My entry point was going to be after the breakout of the previous high, after the alert went off, and then ride that bad boy for a good 50 cents to $1 move, which it did, and then exit out. As far as exiting, that's going to be up to you. If you want to try to get greedy, you can. There's nothing wrong with taking your profits and moving on to the next stock, guys. Um, and obviously, you get too greedy, you're going to end up, doing something like that. So make sure you have a target for your exit point. Stick to it. I can't stress that enough. Even here, you can kind of tell that the stock is going, back down because the moving average convergence divergence starts to roll over as well. And yeah, I mean, it held support pretty good right there, but there was no more spike until then. It's just rolled over. Remember, with these small cap stocks, they do this quite often. So your job is to get in and get out and move on. Some of the things can break out for a very long time, and some of them don't. I mean, it varies from stock to stock. Um, I believe that was probably like the one of the best trades that I had on that day. Let me see if I can actually remember what other ones was there. Um, it just looks a little different on the platform that I trade on, because with TradingView I usually show you guys is much easier because I can do it in real time. But we gotta wait till they update everything. But let's take a look at let me see if I can pull up Acore while we got some time to kill here in pre-market. Sorry, Acore. There we go. Because I took that trade as well, but that was a bad trade for me. So let's take a look at that one from Friday. Yeah, I think I had jumped the gun on this one. I was trying to be slick. One of my strategies is a little bit more risky than the others because it doesn't really give you a setup. Um, I kind of got in and it just kind of bit me, so I cut my loss quickly. Um, which I'm glad I did, because look, this thing just faded off. This is a perfect example, guys, of needing to take your losses and admit when you're wrong and move on. You guys seen on Acore, I lost about a good $220, $200. Yeah, it was like a 6%, fail because I got in it there and I held it and I didn't let it go. And I knew I shouldn't have done that, so I just decided to cut it really quickly. But at the same time, I did jump in ALZN. Let me see if I can pull that one up here. And this one I believe was a pre-market one I had jumped into. Yeah, I just rode that bad boy when that alert went off. And this was a simple ABCD pattern. Boom, boom, boom. And just let it ride. And then I had got out pre-market. So yeah, I mean, guys, my strategies are pretty simple. Um, as far as like any patterns that I look for, you guys know it's usually the bullish patterns that I look for. As far as entries and exits, I get in when they break out and exit when they start to fade off, which is pretty easy. When you learn to read your level two properly, you'll start to get an idea of how things are looking. Combining that with your indicators, you'll be able to kind of see that pretty simple. And as far as where you want to stop at, it's going to be up to you as far as what your profit taking is. I usually do it by percentage. If you want to do it by dollar amount, which is like ideal for a lot of people who are especially starting out trying to grow your account, it's better to do it probably dollar amount instead of target dollar amount that you want to shoot for. Take your profits and move on. Um, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for this little quick video. I kind of hope that helps. You know, the details of my strategy and how I trade is just much more in detail on in the course I made for you guys. For me to kind of go over in one video would be next to impossible because you need to look at a lot of different things when you're entering the trade to know what you're trading, and knowing when to get out, knowing when to get in. But again, that too is going to be based off of what is best for your trading style and how you like to trade as a trader. Um, Copying me is great. You can try to do that, but it won't ever work out for you in the long run because you won't know exactly what to do. But you'll know what to do once you develop your own strategy, your own style, and you test it out. So, anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Again, hope this helps. If you have any questions, just let me know. But until then, I'm gonna get back to this pre-market action. We'll stay green. Take care.